Never stop reading the Bible. It's right there in its pages that we find these timeless stories, just like the one we're about to jump into. So, where are we getting this story from? Well, we're jumping into the book of Ezekiel, specifically chapters 26 through 28. And these chapters, they paint such a vivid picture of incredible glory, blinding pride, and ultimately inevitable judgment. And really, this whole thing, it all boils down to one critical question. What happens when a great nation, or even just a person, forgets where its blessings truly come from? Okay, let's dive in. Okay, so first things first, let's get some context here. This prophecy against the city of Tyre, it didn't just happen in a vacuum. Nope, it's actually part of a bigger series of judgments that Ezekiel lays out against all the nations that were surrounding ancient Israel. So you might be asking, why? Why were all these nations facing judgment? Well, it's because they were a constant negative influence on Israel. They were always encouraging the worship of idols, pushing this materialistic lifestyle, and it was leading the people away from their faith, causing this deep spiritual corruption. Now, among all these nations, one stood out way above the rest: the great city of Tyre. This place was an ancient superpower. In fact, its influence was so massive that the prophet Ezekiel dedicates count 'em, 3 entire chapters to its story. I mean, seriously, in the ancient world, Tyre was legendary. It was known everywhere for its beauty, its incredible strength, and its global influence. For all intents and purposes, it was the center of the world. So what made Tyre so powerful? Well, its power really rested on a few key things. It was the undisputed hub of international trade. It had an unrivaled military, and it had piled up just staggering amounts of riches. This was a city that looked and felt completely invincible. But, and there's always a but, right? Here's where the story takes a sharp turn. While Tyre was just glittering with all this external glory, something was rotting from the inside out. And it started right at the very top, with its king. And this right here, this is the root of the city's downfall. See, Tyre had been blessed with just immense wealth and wisdom. But instead of gratitude, all that abundance just fueled this dangerous pride. The city took God's gifts and completely twisted them, using His grace to chase after wickedness and pure self-indulgence. This corruption hit its absolute peak with the king of Tyre. He got so drunk on his own success and fame that he did the unthinkable. In his pride, he declared himself a god, totally ignoring the real source of all his prosperity. Well, you just can't say something like that and expect things to be okay. That level of arrogance could not go unanswered. The prophecy makes it crystal clear that this pride led directly to a divine and totally unavoidable judgment. The fall of Tyre was now a sure thing. And what's fascinating is how chapter 26 lays out the fall step by step. First, a divine oracle, a formal declaration is made. Then it describes the shock and awe of all the neighboring countries when they hear what's coming for Tyre. And finally, it details the execution of God's final, complete judgment. The prophecy even includes a lament, which is like a song of mourning, for Tyre. But this isn't about feeling sorry for the city, not at all. It's actually a literary tool used to emphasize just how tragic and absolute its destruction would be. It's the stark contrast between its former glory and its coming ruin. And Tyre wasn't alone in this. Its neighbor, the city of Sidon, also faced judgment for its own corruption, things like fraudulent trade and idolatry. It shows there was this regional pattern of divine justice at play. But the story doesn't just end with judgment. After detailing the fall of these incredibly proud nations, the prophecy makes this dramatic shift. It turns to a message of really profound hope. And this reveals such a powerful contrast. See, while nations built on pride were destined to fall apart, a promise of restoration was given to Israel, a promise of being gathered, protected, and brought back home. It's a clear message, right? There is judgment for pride, but there is profound hope for the humble. Which leaves us with this final thought to chew on. The story of ancient Tyre is a powerful mirror for us. It asks us to look at our own lives, at our own successes, big or small, and to ask ourselves, when we are blessed, do we give thanks to the source of those blessings, or do we let our hearts grow proud? Thanks so much for diving into this with me. This has been a production of the Center Studio.